Hello and welcome back to the Crookedrivercast. This is Robert. That guy over there, that's Tom. And we're just two guys from North Ohio trying to keep track of this great state. This is show 51, recorded for the week of March 7th, 2026. Yeah, I'll stumble through it, but we got some stuff to discuss. Let's go. Holy crap, that was on the edge of disaster the whole time I was speaking.
How's your morning, Rob?
It's good. It's good. Maybe I did have one too many beers last night. Maybe. Could be.
Where did you go?
Well, it was quite a week, and I decided to meet some friends and coworkers up at the bar to blow off some steam, and I was either that or I was going to get some Conways. So instead I went to the bar and drank some Conways. But then they were out, so I had to drink an old fashioned. It was just, I don't know. I made it through.
Okay. Maybe you don't sound like it, but all right.
That's what I felt like the whole time I was talking.
Well, last night was a good night.
I
ended up having a couple drinks outdoors with my wife. We smoked a couple of cigars, and it was nice to do that. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, it was. It's 60-something degrees outside currently as we record. 66 according to my computer. Mm-hmm. But when I got in my recording studio, it was 64 in my basement. I got to turn the heat on. I turned the heater on. It was 66 outside.
That's a good temperature right there.
Yeah, it was a little chilly, so I got up to like 65 and then off. Anywho, how's your morning? Everything good this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary.
Just a normal week.
Yeah. I think next week's going to be a better week. I'm taking Monday off and gonna enjoy the weather, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by Wednesday, I think it's going to get cold again, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think Monday's decent. I think we're going to take a ride down to Southern Ohio. I'm going to pick up some steaks from Amish country, because I've had a couple from there. I don't know what farm they're coming off of, but they're delicious. So I want to stock my freezer up.
Yeah, we're planning steaks this weekend too. When the wife says, we got to get something on the grill, I must oblige. Oblige. I got no problem putting meat on the grill, especially after it's Lent. So Fridays, no meat for me. And Saturday and Sundays, I got to make up for that Friday not having meat. So I was like, what kind of meat we going to eat today? Come on.
Yeah, I just had a salad last night. So,
oh, crap. I'd be totally cranky. Well, that might be good for the show. I guess before we get into anything really, we can at least mention everybody who listens to. Did you hear what happened, John Dvorak?
My wife told me. I didn't listen to the show.
Yeah, they had. You should check it out. At least the beginning of it, because it's quite a different opening with Mimi on there.
Yeah, I've never heard her.
Yeah, first time maybe on the show. I think first time on the show they mentioned it. But if anyone doesn't know, No Agenda podcast, the greatest podcast in the universe. One of their hosts, John C. Dvorak, I guess was at the doctor's getting blood work, and they found out you're going in now. You need a double bypass.
Mm.
So I just went online this morning, and somebody from the show, one of the producers you've probably heard of, I can't remember the name, but he had mentioned that he got a message from Adam saying that he had open heart surgery yesterday. He's recovering. So I think it was last night. So he's recovering. So thoughts and prayers to JCD and his family, because
absolutely,
it's you got to be back and crankier than ever, please.
Yes, I was going to say this should make him a little bit more cranky.
Yeah. Listen to the show. Listen to the beginning. Listen, because they have a best of right for this last Thursday. But she talks about it. It's pretty funny at the beginning. She's in good spirits, and she's warning the nurses that he's really not going to be nice. She told him that.
I have a feeling he's going to be fine.
He'll be fine. But I guess they had to intubate him. He was not happy about that. All kinds of stuff. So he's going through some stuff.
It had to be one of his main arteries totally blocked.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she didn't go into that kind of detail as far as all that. They were still doing tests because this was Thursday, a couple days ago. So we'll see. He should be back in a week or so. She said.
Yeah.
Yeah. They push you out of there. Yeah, we crack you open in 3 days. Get out. Get out.
Well, that's what my dad had surgery last year.
He was there 5, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was there about 5. He kind of stretched it out a little bit longer. He didn't want to go home. He had issues with breathing a little bit, so he stayed in a couple days longer. But he's doing good now, and he's how old is John?
Oh,
I think he's
70-ish.
Early 70s, right?
I want to say 72, but
yeah, he's gonna be fine. My dad's had it done when he was 79, so.
Yeah, and a good timing because they found it while he was just going to get some regular blood work. But I think the key to all this, though, the key, if you don't, is he had his cell phone on him. Because he called his wife from the cell phone. And Adam's like, wait, what? What?
He didn't leave it in the drawer?
Yeah, one of those flip phones or something, maybe, but that was pretty
I don't understand his relationship with his wife, Mimi. It sounds like they live in 2 different places.
Yeah, she runs a kennel up in Washington, and he stays in California most of the time. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Hey. Okay.
Yeah. So thoughts and prayers, and get better and get back soon because we need what crappy timing, John? Come on, seriously. Because, are we at war with Iran, Tom?
No.
No? Oh.
No. I mean, I hear him say war, but then others say there is no war. I call it a war, but
yeah, that's like you were asking this, and then everybody's kind of shocked because the president did military actions without asking Congress. Like Massey's on Twitter and X going, "Oh, you got to get." I commented. I said, "Hey, you're a little late to the party. You guys gave that shit away like 30 years ago. Like, what are you talking about?"
Well, there hasn't been war declared since World War II. So.
Since World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just,
So we have a couple of stories we put in there for their just to kind of touch base on it a little bit. And I've found a couple of sources. So the first one I put in that link is understandingwar.org. And this is a pretty cool site. I mean, I didn't dig too much into them. They seemed like a nonprofit. They got a donate button on there. The Institute for War for the Study of War is the website, and they've got a daily update. They've got key takeaways. They've got satellite imagery before and after of all these things as we're bombing them. It's pretty amazing. And they got a nice breakdown. For example, March 6th, which was Friday. They got key takeaways. Israel Defense Force has continued strikes targeting Iran's ballistic missile infrastructure in order to denigrate or degrade Iranian missile capabilities. It goes on and on. There's 4 or 5 different ones. I think the latest I've seen is the Kurds and Azerbaijan. Say that carefully after a couple of drinks. Azerbaijan they're mounting troops at the border. And I think the Kurds have already started invading Iran. At least I've seen some videos. Could possibly be it. And that's going to be, it's going to get kind of sticky here in a little bit, I think. What do you think?
I think we're going to be done in a few weeks.
What's done though? Like what do you consider?
I don't think
done?
we're going to have any troops there. I think we're going to be done with the attacks.
Then what happens after that?
I don't know. I think he's going to try to negotiate a leader,
as far as, it's got to be somebody of our approval. It's kind of what Trump has been saying. Slide this over because I got everything.
It sounds like pretty much everybody's dead.
Yeah. And they're not announcing a new leader because, well,
they got nobody.
If it's somebody's in charge of something, how much they're in charge of what is up in question, but they're definitely not going to be announcing who's the leader because we're just gonna, if it's not somebody we can talk to, we're just gonna kill them. We're just gonna bomb them.
Yeah.
So somebody, I mean, I'm sure they're in complete disarray. So whoever's in charge, quote unquote, is, I mean, I'm not sure what they're really in charge of.
Oh, I don't think anybody's in charge of anything. I think there's just sectors that think they're in charge.
It's a strange strategy from Iran. The U.S. and Israel attack us, and we attack everybody. We retaliate. They attacked 15 different countries, 14 or 15 different countries. I think now it's at 15 with Azerbaijan. Yeah,
that was kind of a weird move, right?
Yeah, I mean, weird, and it's in a lot of ways, but also not, because I as you look into all this, oil prices and restricting the economy around the world is probably their only play. And that's what they just did. They just with the Strait of Hormuz being basically locked down, gas prices have gone up, I don't know, in some cases 50, 60 cents a gallon in the last week. That's their only play right now, is to completely destabilize the region. A lot of like Saudi Arabia and a lot of these countries, they're running out of, they're about to start shutting oil wells down because they can't store it any longer, because there's no ships being loaded, because no ships are going out or coming in. And in a lot of cases, when you shut an oil well down, it's not necessarily good. It doesn't automatically it's not like turning a valve off and turning it back on, apparently. Not that I'm anywhere near an oil well expert, but from a lot of what I've read, it's kind of the case.
Yeah, it makes sense why we went into Venezuela.
Yeah, but Venezuela is not even going to touch any of this. Venezuela is not going to, it initially may have softened the blow, but Venezuela does not even come close to one of the countries in the region as far as oil production, from what I understand.
Yeah, but for us,
so Venezuela does like 1.5 million barrels a day. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the smaller countries in the Middle East does like 2.5 million barrels a day. So when you combine them all together, you're getting 20% of the oil of the world's oil.
Still softens the blow.
It might.
It will in the long run. By the way, we have to break.
We do.
Because I can't even understand you at this point. You're breaking up so bad.
Okay, I think we got that figured out. I think. We'll find out. But I don't, whatever you didn't hear from that was the most elegant rant I've ever had, Tom, and I can't believe you missed it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We were talking about Venezuela, I think. And
I
think it might soften, but I don't know how much of a dent they're going to make at this point.
Well, we'll know. We'll find out.
For us, it might be better. That's maybe that we were saying.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. For the world,
I think it softens it up. Oh no, it doesn't help China.
No, and there you go. See.
Yeah.
And that's where I wanted to kind of touch a little bit. Two questions. Go ahead.
And I think this has a lot to do with trying to keep the dollar as the main world currency.
I think this is twofold. I think his first try was to get this done with negotiation, get the leaders to agree to settle down, stop destabilizing the area, all this other stuff. And when they said no, he said, well, this is what we got to do. I think Venezuela was tied to this, but I think, I think that has a lot to do with China and Russia, because the interconnect between China and Russia is Iran, as far as military aid. And some of the latest I've seen is Russia is giving Iran intelligence. That's because early on one of the drones hit a couple of our radar stations in Saudi Arabia, I think, and somewhere else, maybe Iraq, and one of the defense radars for the defense systems. And it's now being reported, at least, that they believe this. The reason Iran knew where to go was because of Russia's help. And then they're seeing a lot of these drones, and they're getting the pieces from them, and they're Russian drones. I mean, there's Russian all over them. They're the exact drones they're using in Ukraine. So the interesting part of a lot of this is the strategy. It's the drone warfare is a huge change, and it's something I don't think America was prepared for, at least from the way I see it, because we're trying to shoot down, a $3,000 drone with a $2 million missile. And it's just you're gonna run out of missiles pretty quick because those things take a while, and drones, they can pump those things out. So we've actually asked Ukraine for help because they've devised systems of cheap drones to intercept the drones that are coming from Russia. So you can make them quick, you can make a lot of them, and you kind of match that because there's reports they're scrambling to borrow from Peter to pay Paul and feed some of these missile defense systems around the area to keep these drones out because they're and then all at the same time they're bombing them, and a lot of the attacks are getting less, I guess, because they can't make them, and we're kind of blowing them all up. So, but a couple questions is, how long does Trump have before he needs to get approval? I'm hearing 60 to 90 days.
I thought he had 90 days. I thought that's the congressional.
Yeah, it's 60, and then he can get an additional 30 for drawdown.
Right.
Pull out. And I mean, it's a fog of war. So a lot of reports we're seeing, some people are saying September, but I don't think they're thinking that.
I don't know. From insider sources, from my insider sources. No, just kidding.
Cool.
From reporters that have some insider sources, they're thinking another 2 weeks, they're going to start pulling it down.
Yeah, there won't be much left.
No. Yeah, they're just, listen, we went in with B-1 bombers, then the B-2 bombers came in, and then we're using 70-year-old B-52s. So that means we disseminated their anti-aircraft defense.
I think we might be seeing as close as we ever have in our lifetimes to the full and total might of the U.S. military. Because I believe in the past, most of our presidents have held back.
I don't think it's even close to our full might, but okay.
Well, what else could you throw at him? We've basically got every bomber going over there and 2 armadas. Yeah, we could bring all 5 armadas over there, I guess, but I don't know if there would be room for them all over there.
Oh, I just think we haven't shown any technology that we have. I mean, we literally went into Venezuela, shut down their power, and kidnapped their leader without them even knowing.
With some of China and Russia's best defense systems.
Pardon me?
With some of China and Russia's best defense systems, missile defense systems were in place. They were according to some reports, some of the military channels I'm watching, Russia and China advertise selling these things on the market as able to shoot down U.S. stealth aircraft. And then we went in with our stealth aircraft and pulled the guy out and left, and they didn't even know. So kind of people, it's bad for business.
That was almost more impressive than this to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was that. I think this is impressive thing to this is, well, just the balls to do it. I think I don't necessarily like that we're bombing Iran and everything's kind of getting crazy and stuff. I just don't know. I mean, to me, this is a fault of the failure of the last 30 or 40 years of foreign policy.
Yeah. 47 years.
This shouldn't have not taken this long, and we've had too much corruption and BS. I mean, they're upset that Trump's dropping bombs, but Obama dropping pallets of cash, that's okay. That's okay. I think this does have a lot to do with Russia, though, which I don't think many people are talking about, at least in the mainstream. Because
nobody's talking about it.
Those talks are broken down.
I think it has a lot to do with the cash, because they started trading some of the oil in yen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't have that happen.
BRICS countries, BRICS nations. Yep.
You can't have that happen without collapsing the dollar, and that's the last thing we want or Trump wants.
All right, so we're at war with Iran. Keep yourself posted on the details. We'll put some resources in the show notes. It'll be on the blog, and check it out because a lot of craziness going on. Reports of retaliatory attacks here and there. Don't believe any of them yet, but I think we'll move on to the next story because this is a headline from our friends over at the Babylon Bee. Mamdani gets nervous as Trump keeps assassinating Muslim dictators. I thought that was pretty fun. At least throw that in there. He's getting a little nervous. There aren't many of us left, he says. Mondami reportedly told 1-8. Trump keeps taking out all of our best guys. Every radical Muslim dictator is now in danger, including me. If I don't want to be next, I need to hide somewhere. Oh, our friends at the Babylon Bee were quite on top of it. I mean, if you go on their website, look at some of these headlines. To save time, Iran appoints supreme leader who is already dead. So, that's one of them. Well,
DHS nominee Mark Wayne Mullins surges in popularity after vowing to deport liberal white ladies.
Trump takes Kristi Noem behind a woodshed. U.S. Air Force destroys $3,200 Iranian regime Toyota with $30 million smart bomb.
Babylon Bee.
And Megyn Kelly goes back to normal after eating an entire Snickers. Yeah, she's awfully thin nowadays. Lay off the Ozempic, woman. Lay off the Ozempic. And just like in Iran, drones in America are becoming more and more popular as the days go on, and the cities and municipalities start looking at ways to utilize the new technology. And we had touched on this next story. Ohio launches nation's first statewide drone program for first responders. I think we touched on this on one of the drone stories that we had talked about, as far as they were looking at drone docks to be put around the state as a kind of a testing platform. Well, good news. Good news from Ohio. Let's listen to News Channel 5 report on the drone program.
More drones are about to take flight across Ohio, but these drones are not for recreation. They're for saving lives.
Ohio is the first state in the nation to launch a statewide drone program for first responders. Thanks to grant money, an agency in Northeast Ohio will be one of the first to participate in this program.
News 5's transportation reporter Caitlin Hunt live in Traffic Tracker this morning with more information on this. Morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, Mike and Tiffany. Yes, the goal of this program is to get this advanced technology to agencies with first responders who need that extra support. 9 agencies across the state were chosen to receive a drone in a box, and these drones can be launched from a permanent docking system to wherever they are needed. How these drones are used will differ from agency to agency, but these drones can be used for search and rescue and crash and natural disaster responses. And having the drone fly above any of these scenes allows first responders to plan their routes and response. These drones can also be used to drop off needed supplies like EpiPens or Narcan. ODOT will provide needed training for these drones, and the agencies who are using the drones will collect some important data that ODOT can take to state lawmakers.
Once the operations begin, they will be in place for at least a year, collecting data on the types of missions that are being flown and response times, which will then give us a report that we can take back to the legislature and kind of show how successful the program was, and then talk about potential expansion in the future.
And the 9 chosen agencies should receive their drones sometime this summer. Mike, Tiffany?
Yeah, another layer there in security, but I know probably some people are concerned about privacy as well. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's a good way to guard your privacy. We'll just see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, drone in a box. Ohio's first. Yoo-hoo! There's a lot of good things that come of it. But I mean, if they could bring me like an EpiPen and stuff, can you bring me like a 12-pack? I could use that as a, something that kind of cool my anxiety sometimes if I'm on, at work.
You had enough last night.
Yeah, last night, but what about today? Beer on a drone. I mean, exit strategy. Have you ever heard one?
Mm-hmm.
Beer drones. It's a upgrade to the beer hat.
the two straws.
Yeah, the 2 beer cans. It just hovers over your head with a mini cake, and you just. So yeah, they're trying this out. Amherst is the city picked in at least Northeast Ohio. I think they said 9 different jurisdictions or cities are going to get drone in a box. I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. Drone in a box. Why is she in her car?
I don't know.
I've seen her do that before. It's like they're trying to do that whole Instagram feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
$1 million studio, and she's in her car.
I've seen her and others do this too.
She's one of the younger ones too, so that kind of.
Yeah, Caitlin Hunt. Yes, that. Never mind. That's the one I saw.
Yeah, I've seen her.
She's reporting from her car while she's driving. It's awesome.
Sometimes I've seen her. They're like reporting on the roads. The snow is out, or ODOT this or that. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But no, she's parked in her car talking about drones.
I've seen her driving while. Yeah. It's it's a cheap studio.
Yeah, so it's millions of dollars. I think it's for the YouTube crowd. That's what I think.
Well, they're not doing a very good job.
Oh no, I'm not saying they are. They're trying at least. You got to do. First of all, you got to shoot it with the camera turned the other way, because no millennial is going to look at a landscape video. Everything's got to be vertical portrait mode. Oh, I could go on a rant on that for a second, but I won't. I was just at a kid's school concert, and that's all I saw. Vertical videos drives me crazy. Anyway, so drones. There are going to be more drones as a test program, and they want to put these docks all around cities so that they can be closer to to different regions of your county. This and that. I don't know. I got mixed feelings on these things. As well, I think you do too. But
I just don't want money wasted. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just feel like a department can start spending way too much on something that's they don't know how to utilize.
Yeah, I think it could be a money saver in a lot of cases, because you could send a lot less resources to areas if you're doing it,
if they're using it correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard some departments, like not very large ones, like have 15 drone operators. Now, does that mean like officers they already have that are now trained on the drones, or is it added? Did they add 15 people to the department? I doubt it.
I don't think they added 15 people. No, they're not going to add 15 people.
They don't have that much.
Okay, now is there overtime involved?
In Cuyahoga County, yes.
You just spent 10 hours on your shift, and now you got another 6 hours of drone coverage.
Yeah. So we're going to see more and more of these, just like we're seeing them everywhere else. And I just think just like with anything else, we got to be extra vigilant on that. What are city
slightly off topic. I was thinking about that overtime and how much that one dude made from he was making a little over 100, and then he ended up with over 300,000.
Yep.
That is about 80 hours of work a week. You're working double shifts all the time.
Yeah, 80 hours a week.
Yeah,
okay, so he's working.
Yeah, I figured that out. I was like, oh yeah, that does work out to about double shifts to make that kind of money.
I don't think the county has any drones, so just get a couple drones. You can really boost that overtime number. Remember, it's because of budget cuts why their overtime is so high.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might. I mean, like we said, it might be true. It's just hello. Let's see. So yeah, keep an eye out the drones. I don't know what we're going to see next, but I think you're going to end up seeing them more and more. I guess I've already said that, so we'll move on. Next was a story that we kind of both pulled a couple stories on, but not the same story, because you pulled this one about Rocky River, but I was already looking at one for the Columbus area. So police are called to multiple Central Ohio schools after alleged bomb threats. And then you've got several Ohio schools placed under lockdown after threats. Kind of two, they're different, but they're the same, I think. Let's see what Fox News has to say on the Ohio school threat, because this is an interesting one. Let's do a real quick breakdown, because they don't really touch on it. These are two separate stories, and as they were releasing these, I think a lot of them they weren't sure at the time they were connected. Right now, we're looking at over 30 schools had threats. I think on the 4th, like Wednesday.
It was right after the Iran strikes, right?
Yeah. I think they say March 4th or something to that effect, if I remember correctly in my notes. And 10:16, all about the same time of day. All between 10 and 11, like 10:30, 10:45. And but they're not all the same, which is interesting. So here we go. Let's listen to Fox News has to say it.
Well, law enforcement is investigating after multiple Central Ohio schools became the targets of hoax threats. We're going to show you a map, and the markings on the map. Well, we aren't going to show you a map, but we can tell you it was a number of schools throughout the area who confirmed that they received those threats today.
Now, none of those threats have been found to be credible. However, this prompted lockdowns and evacuations out of an abundance of caution. NBC4 crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman stopped by several of those schools today. She's been talking to people about what happened and is live tonight. Anna, what are you hearing?
Colleen and Carrie, parents and school staff I spoke with say it was scary and it's not fair to the kids. Now, this was one of several schools that Columbus police responded to where I am right now. But this wasn't a one district thing. NBC4 has confirmed at least 6 school districts that were impacted by those threats today. Those are Columbus, Gahanna, Bexley, Dublin, Lancaster, and Worthington. Again, none of those threats were credible, but we know Gahanna schools had a brief evacuation. Bexley schools had a brief lockdown. Law enforcement responded quickly to each of the impacted schools and searched the grounds. They say nothing was found.
So did you notice they don't say what was threatened? Because some were bomb threats, some were mass shooting threats. So we have a mixture here. And they don't actually tell us how they received these threats. I'm assuming they were phone calls, but I thought I saw one article that was emails. Some of them were emails, possibly. Could have been getting mixed up, but I think they were mostly phone calls. And so Rocky River was one of the, I think I got these mixed up. That was Channel 19. This is Fox News. Rocky Rivers was a little different. And I know we've commented on Cleveland and Cincinnati, Columbus having, or at least Cleveland, Cincinnati having, police chiefs that are a little weak. What happened to Rocky River? I mean, listen to this guy.
According to Rocky River Police, around 10:55 this morning, Rocky River High School received a call that someone was on their way to the building and they had weapons.
I have no idea how or why the Rocky River City School District came on this person's radar. I do not know.
That's the police
Rocky River Police and 5 different departments showed up. Students were put on lockdown. Parents standing outside in a panic. Those I spoke with told me their kids were sending them pictures of officers going through the halls with rifles.
Wait, what happened to school
we
band?
Also
phone band?
Worked from caller ID to identify the number while all this was happening.
About an hour and a half later at 12:10, police gave the all clear and students were sent home. This was just one swatting call. Several others were made around the state, inducing panic.
You transform from protection mode into let's go get 'em mode.
No confidence at all in that guy.
Police are using their resources and working with other departments to try and track down the person who made this call. They say whoever it is, they're going to face charges, felony charges. They're going to face a fine and possibly jail time. I did reach out to the school system for a comment, but we haven't heard back here. We're going to have more for you on this breaking news as we receive it. Live here in Rocky River, I'm Aria Janelle, 19 News.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I got the Mason High School got a call at 10:50. Ottawa High School got 10:45. Rocky River High School 10:53. And then there's a couple more, and they say all the phone calls came between 10:45 and around noon. Okay. It has to be one person, right?
Well, I originally started thinking that in an AI robocall where you just calling one after the other, just punch 30 numbers in and have it call one after the other or multiple.
It wasn't that quick though.
Wasn't? No, you're right. I didn't see that.
They can make a phone call 2 minutes and then call somebody else. Know.
I originally that would be the smart way to do it because then your voice isn't on there. It's the AI voice. But it could have just been manually dialing number after number after number. They said they're all short calls. The ones they when they talk about the phone calls, I think it's pretty much all phone calls. Sounds like you know what? There was an email that was sent out. That's one of the complaints of the parents is that 2 hours later they send an email out or something like that, telling parents about it or something to that effect. I mean, that's where I was getting it from. But
no evidence from reports indicate these were spread by email, social media posts, or text to students. So I don't know.
Good.
Yeah.
So it didn't. Okay.
I'm just doing a search on Grok.
Yeah. And then, so what is swatting if no one's heard of it before? Basically, they're trying to get a massive police response somewhere, in this case, a school, to elicit a reaction or an event or a tragedy. I mean, they want to send somebody to your house or to a school when you got the SWAT team showing up, literally guns a-blazing. And a lot of times that's how people get shot.
Yeah. I think when a resident gets swatted, often that's an attempt, a murder attempt, or, But for the school thing, I think they're just playing games. I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah. So then you have kids taking pictures of SWAT team going through the school and sending it to their parents. Oh, what fun that is.
Causing chaos. Somebody's just having
gosh, yeah.
I think somebody's just having fun. The FBI is investigating this at this point. I don't think they really can get anywhere with the...
I was going to say, Rocky River's all over it. They check caller ID.
Yeah, I'm sure that spoofing device that they have...
don't even need a spoofing device anymore. You can go into your phone settings and change your phone number. Change your caller. You can just go right in and change it.
From as far as like being investigated?
I don't know. Caller ID. That's what you could change what your caller ID says when people see it.
Okay.
So as far as tracing and all that stuff, maybe not. But if, I don't know.
But that would be on your phone. I mean, if they come to a person, they could probably find that if they narrow it down. But if you use a spoofing device, they might not be able to prove anything.
I'm wondering what they can do with a cell phone trace after the fact.
What do you mean?
Like, how do you determine who? I know they can trace you if you're on the line. Do they have? I don't know. How much can they actually do after the phone call is done? As far as finding who it was, you know what I mean?
Well, if they didn't use a spoofing device or like a what's that called? Like a IP thing, a VoIP thing. What I forget. That's just VPN. Changing your IP, right?
VPN.
Yeah, VPN.
Yep.
So if they're using that, they can't do much. Even if they can't do anything with that, right?
Yeah.
Because to me, it seems like anybody that knows what they're doing as far as, what the hell? Just calling somebody like that, if anybody knows what they're doing, I don't think they can really catch you. If you're trying to SWAT somebody, because they don't really catch those people.
Yeah, you don't need to be very smart to figure it out. There's very easy technology. You just run it through VPN and bounce it 20 times. I mean, they can find you sometimes, but I don't know. I just
to me, it seems like anybody that's been swatted a lot of times, and there are content creators that have been swatted, and it doesn't seem like they ever catch anybody. I think they caught one person that swatted the quartering.
Oh, okay.
They caught somebody, but where it went after they arrested somebody, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be very difficult, but one thing we did find out, I think the police chief for Rocky River, definitely low T, definitely. If he has any T. Yes.
Well, okay. And the Cleveland police chief, no T.
Well, yeah, Cincinnati. But she has an excuse.
Well, so does he. He's from Rocky River.
So does he. He identifies as whatever. But, he checked caller IDs, so we're good. And I just think it's 35 plus schools, they said. It's like somebody was busy for a minute.
For a couple hours.
If you're going to do 35 schools, you hopefully you cover your tracks, because otherwise, what the hell? But it could be some dumb kids, but I doubt they would do schools all over Ohio. This is their school usually.
Yeah. This is a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll keep see if they find anybody. We'll let you know. But
what's a soft lockdown?
Soft lockdown would be just stay in your rooms. I can't remember because my kids have these now. It goes along with fire drills and tornado drills. Now they have mass shooting drills. It's kind of like they go around and just, hey, don't worry about locking or barricading. Just, we have some things going on in the area. Just stay in your room. It's not as an alarm, you know what I mean? It's kind of a little bit just letting the teachers know something may be happening in the area. Just keep an eye out. Just keep everybody in the room. But a hard lockdown is nobody moves. You can't go from room to the next room.
Right.
Classes are you're gonna stay in that class even if the bell rings, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. And I kind of actually great segue into that is I always ask them, so what'd you learn in your lockdown drill today? Like, well, we locked the door and we did this, that, and I go, okay, so what are you going to throw at them? My daughter looks at me and it's like, I'm like, your laptop? Am I going to throw throw your laptop. It'll hurt really, really bad if you hit somebody in the head with a laptop. And that's what they do. They do kind of train them. We'll just start whipping iPads or whatever if someone comes in the room. Because, well, I mean, I'm like, I guess that's kind of what I would tell them to do. Like, don't just sit there and, hide and be quiet. But if someone breaks in your room, that's what I told you. If everybody bum rushes them, yeah, you may lose a few, but as long as it's not you.
I'd carry some Chinese stars.
Yeah, you could. You could.
If you don't get caught with them, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be a very short discussion if you got caught with Chinese stars. Yeah, but it's a new world. That's what they deal with now, and I guess that's
good. Are like the backpacks getting more popular with the kids in high school, especially like the ones with plates in them?
No, I doubt it. I don't. I guess
because I think I would have that for my kids.
What good is it going to do? It's in her locker.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, you got to carry it around with you.
You can't carry your backpack all day.
Oh, you can't? You're not allowed to, or you?
I don't know if you're not allowed to, but I don't know if you can. You may not. I mean, every kid comes in with a backpack. There's a whole, in a class.
I don't know. If they're not allowed to, then that sucks. But if they're allowed to, I'd be like, just carry your backpack around with you.
I don't know. I actually don't know if they're allowed to or not. I would assume no, because just space issue and distraction and stuff. As it is now, they got to put everything but their school book. They got to put their phone in a thing up at the front of the classroom and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't know, because they have laptops and stuff. Well, just put a plate carrier in your laptop. That's what I'm thinking. Just put a little.
Well, you could, if you have a laptop bag.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my daughter wants to carry around. Her laptop with a 15-pound steel plate in it.
You don't have to get the steel one. You can get the light ones that weigh about 5 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it sucks,
I think she should build her strength by putting the AR 550 steel in her backpack. Good for training. You know what? Just wear this chest rig, okay? Just wear the chest rig. No, don't. Magazines are empty. Don't worry.
Ballistic helmet.
Yeah, ballistic helmet. Soft armor, hard armor. Let's do it all. All right. I think moving on to our next, we're gonna hit a little bit of the critters in Columbus today. Let those critters out, Tom. Let them out. Come on. Woo. Still can't close the door. Still can't close the door, but we're letting them out. Well, it's really, we're really going to focus on one subject in this critter corner, and that's really data centers for the most part. No, for the entire thing. Right now, we've got a couple bills running through the state legislature. First one we'll talk about, HB 706 is protection from data center costs, is basically what they're saying. Proponents are saying that this will shield Ohioans from data center grid upgrades. And the long and short of it, I guess, is State Reps Tristan Rader, Democrat of Lakewood, and Dave Thomas, Republican of Jefferson County, unveiled Bill HB 706 statewide to set statewide minimum standards for electric service agreements between utilities and data center operators. Bill would require data centers to sign long-term service contracts, at least 12 years, with utilities before construction of dedicated infrastructure begins. That's a big problem. They're building all this infrastructure and we're freaking paying for it.
Yep.
With fees, and you look at those fees and all your electric bills, and you start figuring out what they're for. They don't make sense. They don't name them so that you can figure it out. But there's a transmission or infrastructure fee or something in there. Transmission fee.
There's so many bills coming up right now for data centers. It sounds like it's a total mess, man. It's hard to keep track of it. Everything.
I think they're going to start combining them. Is what they usually do.
Ban them. We just need one bill. Ban them.
So let's see here. It would also direct Public Utilities Commission, the PUCO, to establish rules for interconnection queue practices. So basically get in line. Sounds like for if you're going to get connected. For load study deposits. I don't know what that is. Okay. Milestone requirements and minimum billing standards. So they want to put some teeth behind the PUCO, which is already the power regulatory, the commission that regulates gas and water and stuff in the state. Some of the key provisions would prohibit utility companies from recovering data center related costs from other customer classes, mandate financial assurance prior to building dedicated facilities, and ensure exit payments or unused capacity charges are returned to customers when applicable. So basically, just a lot of protections in some of the nonsense we're seeing. Big billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies basically coming in and putting a lot of the cost of their data center on the backs of the people in the community, and it's not right. I don't think we should ban them, Tom. You think we should ban them?
Yeah,
maybe at this point we've got a lot of them. What do you do with the ones that are already here? Do you get rid of them, or?
No, they're here. I just don't like them. I just think this is going to be a big. I think they can slow them down. There's supposed to be 70 more by 2030, right?
Yes.
And I think it's going to ruin a lot of people's lives.
Yep.
Not a lot of people's, but enough. And I think 20 years from now, it's going to be a big regret.
I agree in that statement for sure. I shot you a picture was it last week? Yeah, last week before last. No, I think a week before last. I don't remember. I've been on a few data centers I'm driving out of this data center in the Columbus area. It's like a half hour outside of Columbus. Wasn't even Columbus area. And I'm looking at this farmhouse and I realize I'm driving out and I see, you see the nice big farmhouse. And then behind it, its backyard is now a data center.
Yeah. And can you imagine if you bought that farmhouse a couple of years ago, or let's say 5 years ago?
And I've shown it to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll just sell it." I go, "Okay, yeah. How much do you think that's worth now?" A fraction of what it was before that land was sold and built on. And it's. I mean, you were out there. The sun was coming up, and it's like, "Oh, what a beautiful day to be out on an industrial site in the middle of nowhere."
Yeah, I don't know who bought that house, but I bet you they bought it because they wanted to live in the country, and now they got this massive pile of crap behind their house.
Yep. It is basically, I mean, it's not one of the biggest ones. I was on one of those last week when I sent you that picture too from the morning.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at one of those mega sites. So we talked about Lorain County is trying to fight off this mega site, 750 acres. I was on one in Western Ohio. It's 600 plus acres. My gosh, this parking lot was as big as a mall parking lot. Had to be 1,000 parking spaces minimum, I would say.
How many cars?
What do you? I think it's got to be 1,000 parking spaces there, and it was filling up. I was there early. I was there like before 7 in the morning, and it was filling up. There was a line of cars. They have a sheriff. Speaking of sheriff, they have a sheriff. I'll say sheriff at the exit ramp, sheriff at each entrance to the data center. And as I passed the sheriff, I'm like, overtime? Okay. And drove down and is highly guarded. You can't get in there without all this rigmarole. You got to go 2 hours safety. They got background checks. Guys were telling me if you take a picture on site with your phone and get caught, you're banned from the site and any other company's other sites for life. and we're going to report you to the FBI.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I would imagine corporate espionage, China, other companies in America trying to figure out one of these, how they do their data centers. I'm sure there's a lot of proprietary stuff maybe in there. I don't know. Yeah. But I think, when they have their own street sweeper on site, on a construction site, that's a big construction site.
This was still in construction?
Yeah, still under construction.
Yeah.
They had
so
just
what's
the
that
tents.
Go ahead. What's that parking lot going to look like after it's done?
That's temporary. It's all paved.
Okay, that's
what
I
figured. It was a paved parking lot with parking stones or whatever you call them, just like a regular parking lot. It's like for a construction site, it was a lot. Like usually you get gravel and a couple of flags. In major $1 billion construction sites, you get a gravel parking lot. But this is, and it's all going to rip it back up eventually. Put another building there. It's all temporary.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. It was just unbelievable. And completely changed this whole area. Completely changed 600 plus acres. I drove out and went the opposite direction where I came in just to see the area. I just kept driving and driving. I'm like, it's just like a couple miles. I think I drove around in a circle, and it was just all this huge site.
Yeah.
It cleared out all this land. So really, I do like seeing a lot of these bills. I do worry about government overreach, but there's a part of me that it's not good. We need at least some kind of guidelines on these companies, because one of the reasons they're coming in here is because of the lack of regulation. Because they can just come in, under the cover of night, basically in darkness, NDAs and shadow companies, and buy land, and then before you know it, you ask your city council, "Hey, what's going on with that land next to me?" And they say, "Sorry, can't talk to you about it. I signed an NDA. I'm not allowed to." And then you get Killdozer.
Yep.
Next is another bill, HB 646, which I'm not too crazy about this one. This one would create a data center commission. Just sounds like more red tape, but so Senate Reps Gary Click, Republican out of Vickery, and Kelly Dieter, Republican in Norwalk, introduced HB 646 January 13th to establish the Ohio Data Center Study Commission with the Department of Development. The bipartisan 15-member panel, I think there's a key there, 15 members who get to be appointed by legislatures and the governor, and the minority gets this many, the majority gets this many, the governor gets to pick a couple, and everybody gets to put their friends in high places. Would analyze the multifaceted effects of data center development, including economic benefits, environmental consequences, and infrastructure strain and land use issues. Let's see here. As a result, the tech giants are responding with mitigation efforts. Meta is partnering to develop small modular nuclear reactors at a former uranium enrichment site in Pike County to power its massive, this is one I've heard coming up, this massive Prometheus data center in New Albany, the world's first to require more than 1 gigawatt of power. While investing in existing nuclear plants, Microsoft has pledged to cover its own energy and water costs without burdening ratepayers. So yay to Microsoft.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the long and short of that part of it. Just a commission that I'm not crazy about, I guess. But considering there's almost nothing there now to even look at this kind of stuff, and these things are going up like crazy. I think they had numbers in the last story. It is like 130, over 100 already built or being built in Ohio right now. Most of them in and around.
There's approximately 100 operating at this point.
Okay.
That's what the article says, and 70 more planned by 2030.
Okay.
It's a little too late, right?
Yeah. I mean, Again, some of these you could argue would be a good thing, but it's just the massive amounts. I mean, we had 5 or 10 or 20 in the state. I don't think it would be such a huge issue. We're approaching 200 in the coming few years.
Mm-hmm.
And if we already got 100, I know of, 8 to 10 more that are within a year from going online, I think, or currently under construction.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in Columbus, all around the state. There's, Dayton, the Akron area, Southern Ohio, Dover kind of area. There's a couple being proposed. Western and Toledo and stuff like that. There's a few of them. I think even Sandusky area. There's a couple going up. So yeah, I think it needs to be looked at for sure. I guess I just don't trust it. I just don't trust them to do anything about it. I guess that's my problem.
Okay. They're going out into these like rural areas. Is it because of the lack of regulation in those areas, or
Ohio in general?
Why don't they build something like on, like, I don't know, let's say East 55th and somewhere downtown where there's like buildings that are just rotting away. Just knock those down and build a data center there.
Because it's cheap. The land's way cheaper in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know. That land over there is pretty cheap. It's probably cheaper to build, but I would think East 55th with everything dilapidated over there wouldn't be too expensive to buy.
I think it would be more expensive than empty farmland for sure.
Yeah, but I would just.
And you're dealing with dozens and dozens of people instead of 2 or 3.
Yeah. I get that.
And geez, can you imagine the pushback if they had it in the middle of the city? 600 acres site in the middle. I don't know. You could
around in that part of the city, nobody would even know.
600 acres might be like all of East Cleveland. I don't know how big East Cleveland is.
No, that's 600 acres. I mean, that's big, but that's not that big. 600 acres.
East Cleveland's kind of small, though. I know it's not 600. I'm just saying it would be maybe it'd be a large portion. I think it's in the middle of nowhere, so they can sneak it in.
Yeah.
Easier to buy from a couple of farmers who are looking to get out than it is to negotiate with the city and all this. And
yeah, okay. It's easier to promise jobs, and then eventually there's no jobs because after you build it. Well, once it's in the city, you probably need more maintenance and everything around it.
I don't know. I don't know what they're promising. They're promising tax revenue. That's about all I can see. There's no possibility of many jobs from these things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
yeah, but who's believing there's a lot of jobs there? Some dumb
I think these dum-dums in office are believing that. They see 2 years of a massive amount of construction jobs, and they don't realize that there's gonna be like 5 people working there after it's built.
At this point, there's no excuse for that. But yeah, I think early on maybe. But at this point, with over 100 in operation, I think they can do a quick Google search to find that. So
yeah, do you think they're doing that?
No, yes, no, but I don't think it's because they're stupid. I think they're just conveniently forgetting that there's Google, so they can get the whatever they're getting at. They get the influx of tax revenue for a couple of years. It makes them look good as a city official. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But man, it's really changing communities.
It is disturbing me. That's all.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I gotta love hate. I gotta love hate because man, it's good for business. But
yeah, I get it.
Oof. And it's really like you go to like where the Intel chip plant is at. That doesn't bother me as much because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there are so many data centers just around that.
I get
Road.
That. I get that.
That mega site I went to just really bugged me, man, because it was like, you just plopped it right in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Ugh. Speaking of plopping in the middle of nowhere, Dewine came back in the news. Yeah, that was bad. GOP they're still looking at overriding from the budget vetoes, the 60-some budget vetoes. Ohio GOP leaders plan to override Dewine's veto restoring the data center tax break. And let's get a little bit from the idea stream.
Republican leaders in the Ohio House and Senate say they're planning to override another of Governor Mike DeWine's 67 vetoes in the budget last year. They're targeting his veto of their elimination of a sales tax break on construction materials for data centers, so keeping the tax break in place after overriding a property tax-related veto last summer. House Speaker Matt Huffman says the tax break is a carryover from when data centers were new and Ohio was trying to attract them, but those days are over.
Yeah, we've done that.
I don't think that the companies who are building those should get special treatment when buying materials to build their buildings.
And Senate President Rob McCauley says data centers already get a lot of advantages in Ohio.
Especially given the fact that we recently gave them the ability to build power behind their own meter and not take it off the grid. We didn't think that there was a need for the sales tax exemption anymore.
House Minority Leader Donnie Isaacson says he supports the tax break and will vote against the veto override. Senate Minority Leader Nikki Antonio says Democrats in that chamber are split on it. Karen Kassler at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.
See, I figured Democrats would be all for that. Wonder why they're split. So this veto would put the sales tax back on construction equipment for data centers.
The veto would put the tax back on?
Yes. So they had in the budget to get rid of the tax break, and he vetoed it to keep the tax break.
I felt like this article was written kind of, it was hard to keep track of what's actually happening. Okay, so the veto puts the taxes back on.
Yes. Like it says in the, Dewine's veto, which restored the data center tax break in the budget. And the veto would remove the tax break, yes.
Oh, that's good, right?
Yeah. Yes, it would bring more tax revenue to the state and give, like he said, and I think that was Yost said, hey, we kind of put this in to attract more data centers. Mm-hmm. I think we've done that. I think we're good. Yeah. I think they can start paying. I didn't know they had a tax break on construction equipment. So when they're buying 75 generators as big as a semi truck,
right?
Are they paying tax on those? I don't know.
Well, they're probably paying very little tax, right?
Is that included? Or when they're buying all the metal for the sides of the, are they paying tax on that? It's like,
yeah, it sounds like I'm getting shafted.
Yeah, it seems like how about a compromise? How about we give them a reduced tax rate, but we still need to collect freaking taxes on that stuff? Come on. Have you heard about the schools? Have you heard about, they need more money, man. And all this, all this talking about electricity rates, farms and farmland, land usage and all this other stuff doesn't even touch on the pollution side of it. We got a couple stories here.
I'm still reeling over, they always come for us for more taxes, but they're giving these massive corporations tax breaks.
Right. Remember, we talked this with property taxes. One of the reasons people are getting hit so hard with tax increases, obviously house values are going up. Maybe unreasonably for no reason or whatever. Unrealistically, yeah. Unrealistic increases in some cases, 30, 60, 40%, whatever. The other problem, I think the bigger problem would be 20 years ago, maybe let's say, it was 70-30. Something like that. 70% of the property taxes were paid by businesses, corporations, and 30%,
right.
75-25, something like that. It's now flipped.
Yep.
So 70% of the property tax revenue is coming from personal residential, and less than 40% maybe is coming from corporations and business because of all these tax incentives. Not this sales tax part, but the property tax agreements, the 20-15 year tax abatements that they're getting on these sites. And as state taxes, I've heard a lot of people saying, well, for local taxes, it's a boon for a lot of school districts and stuff because they're getting a lot more tax from that land than they were getting from the farmer. But statewide, they're getting tax abatements. And all the while, how good are these things? What are they doing to the environment? Gosh, they're starting to make me sound like a greenie, man. I'm like, air pollution. Oh no. So they have a study of air pollution, and a couple of things Emissions from data centers can cause breathing issues and premature deaths for those living nearby. Seems a little bit much, maybe. What study? Can you give me some more information on the study? No, not much as far as how or who or what they studied. Did you recall reading that in here at all?
No. They don't give us any information.
It's just a study that they found in the study that living by a data center could cause you to die early. Like, how would they know that?
I think they were taking some measurements with, I think what was it, like 0.6 miles?
Yeah, they're saying 0.6 miles away. Klein found that a single data center could pose negative health risks for people living at least 0.6 miles away, sometimes further. Risks increase when the home is near multiple data centers. Okay. A growing number of Central Americans living near one or more data centers, or will in the near future, including in Ohio. Data centers are massive buildings, are blah, blah, computers. We already know what that is. We have the report. The report was compiled by the Community and Environmental Defense Service. Their founder and president, Richard Klein, who has been working in development-related concerns for 40 years. Klein found a single data center could negatively, like I said, affect people living within 0.6 miles away. Klein said air pollution risks come from data centers emitting nitrogen dioxide and tiny inhalable particles that can harm people's lungs, according to the National Institute of Health. And the tiny inhalable particles cause between 100,000 and 200,000 premature deaths per year. Wow, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I smell BS in that, but it seems if we're losing 200,000 people a year from inhaling tiny particles, seems like.
Well, where are those people? They don't really tell you where they are, where they work. They don't tell you anything. They just said 200,000 people die prematurely each year. So is it because they're living by a data center? I'm not sticking up for data centers, by the way. Because if there's any risk, then again, ban them.
Yeah, it just seems like I didn't have time to look into the Community Environmental Defense Service. Sounds very, very much like a left-leaning organization. They have these very catchy terms, these names, stuff like this. Community Environmental Defense Service.
Yeah, okay, but
anti-business kind of, that's what I feel. But
or pro-health. They're just not giving you much information.
Right.
Let me see what Grok says.
Which to me, it means it's probably very subjective. 100,000, 200,000 people die of premature deaths from inhaling tiny particles, or is it because they're massively overweight and diabetic?
I said they don't really tell you who.
Right. So that screams to me like you're trying to hide something, or this is some subjective report that they came up with. But the next one. Actually, one more thing on this. Very strange in this article because of this paragraph. Data centers and the controversy surrounding them came up during Tuesday night's State of the Union. President Trump said he would press tech companies involved in artificial intelligence to pay higher electricity rates in areas where the data centers are located. Such data centers tended large amounts of electricity, potentially increasing the cost. He said something good about Trump. Very strange. White House will host major tech companies involved in building data centers for artificial intelligence on March 4th, which is last week, for them to sign a pledge to protect consumers from higher electricity prices. Wow, they're going to sign a pledge. Oof.
I just looked that up, the breathing thing, the particles, and it does. Data centers do create particles in the air, a lot from the diesel generators that are backups.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
It's the studies kind of link them to thousands of asthma cases, premature deaths. It could be, it could be just if somebody has asthma, making things worse or giving people asthma.
Yeah.
It's just I just kind of did a quick search on Grok, and it does link thousands of asthma cases to the data centers.
Right. They generally don't run on diesel backup. That's just a backup thing. So.
Yeah, that's a backup. But there's emit particle matters, nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxides, and more. These degrade air quality, contributed to smog, creating respiratory issues.
From the diesel generators is mainly what they're talking about then.
No. That's just part of it, they're saying.
But where does the particles come from the data center itself if it's not the diesel generators? And I only ask because I see how they're building them, and
I would think from the cooling, just the things that are running, throwing things in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess because basically they pump water through the system, pump it through a chiller unit which has fans on it. So I guess moving the air, particles,
heat, air.
It seems like a stretch in my opinion, but I'm not a doctor, nor did I stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. So what do I know? But what they are also determining is the water. What to do with the water. This one I can completely buy into because, as you run water over electrical equipment, I think it probably picks up toxins and stuff. And the EPA is still reviewing what they're going to do and what kind of permits. They're trying to push through a more relaxed permit. They want it like more of a generalized permit that, in my opinion, seems to have less oversight, like a 5-year permit. It's not what they're under now. They're under much more strict regulation as far as where they can dump and how they can dump. I can definitely get on board with that. I'm trying to figure out what's in this water. Can you tell us what's in the water? One of the quote from the article. This is from the Marietta Times, talking about Ohio EPA reviewing draft permit to authorize limited increase in data center wastewater discharge. The interesting quote in here was, "It has been determined that a lowering of water quality of various waters of the state associated with granting coverage under this permit is necessary to accommodate important social and economic development in the state of Ohio," the draft says. They're like, we've determined we can help lower the quality of we have to lower the quality of water in order to develop economically and socially. That's kind of okay, I guess, because there is a provision in the Ohio EPA that if you can prove that it's necessary for economic development, you're allowed to destroy the environment just a little. God, I sound like an environmentalist. What the hell?
Ugh. You don't. You sound like somebody who's concerned.
Well, I know. I just, I want more greenhouse gases to warm the winters up, really.
Yeah, I don't. I thought I had read somewhere that brought up a question to me while I was looking into this. Why can't they run like a closed cooling system?
They do. So it does mention in there that some run a closed loop system that it doesn't really use much water. It's effectively zero. I think the Meadow was talking about this. And
yeah, I think they're just running like basically, radiator fluid, right?
That's actually, and it depends, but in most cases, it's actual water. And
okay.
The kind of the point was taken in some of the other articles we talked about was it can't just be any water; it has to be drinkable water because it has to be clean enough for the components they're using. Yeah.
I understand that, but if it's closed,
eventually they have to change that out. It doesn't last forever.
Yeah, but it's better than just running how many gallons a day?
Yes, but that's what they're trying to figure out. What do you do with that water once you have to change out the system or replace some of it? Where do you dump it?
Right. But okay.
To me, that's way more of an issue right now because you have to something has to get in there. Eventually that water gets dirty and they can't use it. It doesn't work effectively would be my guess. It's just a guess. Just like your radiator fluid gets old after a time, it gets,
Yeah, but when you use a lot less water that way?
Yeah. Oh, you do. Yes, of course. They do have evaporative systems which use a lot more water. And they do also have systems that don't even use any water or very little water. It's more like air conditioned cooled. There's all disadvantages to that too, because you're using a lot more power.
Right.
So they're still trying to figure out. They had public comments, which is over, finished in January, and they're still trying to figure out what to do. They do talk a little bit about the Bill 646 in this too, about the commission. This would be part of something they would discuss as they build data centers. What you're going to do with the water, and that's the big one. Still determining what they're going to do.
None of it's good.
No, not really. I guess. Well, one more thing to wrap it up. I guess according to the Ohio EPA, once comments have been reviewed, responses will be issued, and the Ohio EPA director will take final action and approve or disapprove the permits. So we'll see, I think, within the next month or so, what's going to be done with this. And I imagine they're going to approve it. Just let them relax the regulations. We'll see. But tell us what you think. What's your opinion on these data centers? Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. You can check out the blog every Monday when the show's out. crookedrivercast.com. Subscribe to the show, share it with your friends. We really appreciate you listening. You can always try to find me on X if you want.
We love cookie!
Send me a message. Say hi. Tell us what you think about the show. Leave us some feedback. And leave us a comment if you don't mind. Always want to hear from you. It helps the show. Tom, I'm about to interrupt the show for a second here. We have some, I think we have some breaking news here. Oh dear, this is serious. It appears. Sorry, Tom, didn't mean to surprise you on this. It appears Iran. We got some news from Iran. Breaking news from Iran. We have a message from Iran. It looks like a new leader has been announced. Let's listen to it. I got a live feed here. Let me see if I can pipe it in here. Hold on. Here we go.
The assassination of the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran is a great crime. As the new Ayatollah of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I pledge that this atrocity will not go unanswered. With all our strength and determination, we will make the perpetrators of this crime regret the dawn.
What the hell?
The assassination of the new Ayatollah of the Islamic Republic of Iran is a great crime. As the new Ayatollah of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I pledge.
Oh, not another one. Oh, crap, man.
Hello? New Ayatollah here. Look, I really didn't want this job, okay? I just joined the government like 3 weeks ago, and I was sitting in a cubicle way off in the corner, and next thing I know, some folks talking across the office are all like, let's get Ahmed to do it. No one will miss him. I heard you guys. So, yeah, I'm just hoping we can all be cool here. There's no need for things to get all... Oh. Wait a minute. False alarm. It's just my new pager. It's the latest model. You can even play Snake on it. In fact...
Oh, there goes another one. There goes another one. Oh, dear. Well, never mind.
I think I would have kept him.
What's that?
I think I would have kept that last guy.
Yeah, he seemed to be, he could have worked with that last guy, but I mean, the pagers, you know who that was.
The Jews.
They got him. Those smart little suckers. Sorry, I saw that was our friends from the Babylon Bee again. They had the next guy. I cut it off. The next guy is like, look, I get what does he say? I'm the new Iranian leader. I know the drill. He opens up his vest and he's got a vest bomb on. He destroys himself. I get it. I'm going to do it. That was pretty good. I will put that in the show notes so you can take a look yourself and share it with your friends. Next, we can talk a little bit more fraud. Yay, more fraud. Love it. Just black pill me a little bit more, won't you? More fraud. I've been watching this kind of story to see if anything's broken on it, and I saw a couple early on videos, probably a few weeks ago, in Ohio, but also Minnesota. So Nick Shirley goes back to Minnesota. The same guy that's helping him is, they're looking at Somali daycares. But what's with all the transport companies? A lot of transport companies. Well, yeah, you need transport to go to, to take your kid, your elderly person to the hospital, to a doctor's appointment, or just a trucking company. Like 7 or 8 of them in one building. Let's listen to this is from Frontline USA or Frontline TPS or Frontline TP USA. TPU. So it's affiliated with TP USA, Turning Point.
I assume so, yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah. Let's listen to her. This is... Crap, I didn't get her name, but she'll say it, I think. No, she does sound like she's like 8.5.
She's young.
But I assure you...
Savannah Hernandez.
Savannah Hernandez, yes. And there's a key component here. We keep this one little program keeps coming up when we talk about fraud with all these different communities. Let's listen.
This is Savannah Hernandez in Columbus, Ohio, at one of the locations where a trucking company is being operated out of. Now, this trucking company received over $618,000 in PPP loans that have since been forgiven. And the reason this company was flagged for me is because of a discrepancy in the industry listed for those loans. Now, in 2020, they received a PPP loan for over $331,000, but the industry it was listed under was food service contractor. Now, they applied for another PPP loan for over $287,000 in 2021, and that one was listed under the trucking industry. Now, I'm doing an investigation into discrepancies in the trucking industry here in Columbus, Ohio, and some of the addresses to active trucking companies have led us to empty suite spaces or places where you would not expect a trucking company to be operated out of. Now, this office space here actually does have a physical space for SOS Trucking, and they do seem like a legitimate company. You also have 6 other trucking companies operating out of this same building, and also to note, 5 home healthcare companies. By the way, the reason we found this trucking company is because we found a documentary on YouTube about Somali truck drivers, and one of the truck drivers who is being interviewed in the Somali language in this documentary, he works for SOS Trucking and he drives for them. And in the documentary, he's driving all the way from Dallas to Columbus, and they're interviewing other truck drivers of African descent who are talking about in the interview how English language proficiency or being able to speak English to other people at these truck stops is an issue for them, a challenge that they have to overcome.
How about reading?
Oh, and by the way, y'all, as I was waiting for the CEO of SOS Trucking to come by because I wanted to ask about the PPP loans, I noticed a really nice vehicle pull up and 3 Somali women get out and walk into this Columbus Global Home Healthcare Company. Now, I started doing a little bit of research into the company because I wanted to see if they got any PPP loans, and it turns out that between 2020 and 2021, they received $1.2 million in PPP loans that have since been forgiven. So I started looking into their company. They don't have an official website. They don't have any reviews on Yelp, on Facebook, on care.com.
Well, they must be new.
Even their Medicare.gov website,
company,
they don't have any quality rating for or inpatient surveys for. Okay. Now, on Medicare.gov, it does say that they have been certified since 2003. So they've been around for 23 years. But at most, I was able to find 4 reviews about this company. They've received $1.2 million in PPP loans. They don't have to pay those back because it's been forgiven, but 0 digital footprint. Like I said, you got 6 trucking companies in this one location. You've got 5 home healthcare companies. And as I'm doing research into the PPP loans that have been distributed to companies within this building, it was interesting to see, some of the little discrepancies, and then trying to speak to the people that do work at these companies.
PPP loans.
Has been a bit difficult. So a little update out of Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, PPP loans. Don't worry. No worries.
Douchebag.
Wrong one, actually. It's supposed to be this.
Move on! Nothing to see here! Please disperse!
Nothing to see here. Just PPP loans. $2-3 million in one building just being forgiven. Nothing to see here. Completely legitimate. There's nothing wrong with that. And I do a quick search. There's not like is there anybody reporting on this besides Hernandez? I mean, I did a little quick search on Ohio trucking fraud, and I don't see anybody really. I mean, you might get an article here and there, but it's not like anything I could really pull for an article, to read off of. I don't think.
Why would there be?
Yeah, it's racist. That's why.
Yeah. She has another report on all the Somali and Hindi and Arabic truck drivers getting licenses. They're getting their licenses, passing tests in their own language of Somali and Hindi and Arabic. Unbelievable. I don't know where I would imagine those are coming from California and left-leaning states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw this years ago, I don't know, at least 15 years ago, at my job at the time. We'd get truck drivers from a certain company because I was out of Canada, and they were always Indian or Arabic in some way, but a lot of them Indian. And you know that because they wear the turban.
They got the dot.
No, not the dot. It's the thing around their head that they wrap around their head. So I think that's.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they'd have the garage door open around their forehead.
No, most of them did not. But what they would do is come in and be like, can you please back up truck?
Really?
Yeah. We had a tight spot. A really good driver would have a problem getting to where we're at. It's
okay.
A horrible situation. Right. But they're trained to drive forward mainly when they go through these classes. And even in America, it's like this. They
kind of like the people that ran the planes into buildings. They were trained to just fly and not land.
You don't want to know how to land? No, just take off and fly. Oh, okay. Well, I just let that slide. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so they'd always come in super broken. They couldn't speak more than a couple words. And I was always go, how do they know where to go? So they got GPS in their language. That's how they know. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to, because if you can't read a street sign or a map, how are you supposed to know where to go? Freaking technology, man. But a lot of this is all PPP loans. Everywhere it's PPP loans, millions of dollars. And that's stimulus. That's COVID stimulus loans. That's what that was, right? PPP loans.
Yeah.
That was what if you hit certain criteria, the loan became a handout. Because you would be forgiven for it.
Yeah, the criteria wasn't difficult.
No, it wasn't, obviously, because there was like 15 companies in this building. And it's not like a small building. You could see it's for multiple spaces, but I don't think that many spaces. And they've got 3 or 4 companies that have got PPP loans. It's a total scam. Total scam.
Mm-hmm.
Our country is so broken. When I see these stories, I'm like, is there a way that we can even fix it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
First step is letting people know.
Yeah. And getting people, people have to get upset about this. And I don't see it like I think we should.
I think people really need to head over to their reps and start badgering them.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to do anything. They definitely aren't going to do it out of their goodness of their own heart. Only if their constituents push them to do it. I don't know. It's and Nick Shirley's finding this even maybe more fraud in healthcare companies and then transport companies, but also healthcare transport. So you have a fake transport company taking fake patients to fake healthcare places.
Mm-hmm.
and this is what he's finding.
Yeah, fake court cases and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah, and this is all like government subsidized because you're poor, and it, really put in place for the elderly and the people who really. I mean, a lot of it's for elderly. Like you get to a point you can't drive, but you still got to get the doctor's appointments. And a lot of cities offer these kind of services, and they're just taking advantage of it. And they're starting companies in Minnesota, Columbus, wherever. They're just handing out like it's free cash.
1.2 million in forgiven PPP loans in 2020 and 2021 for Columbus Global Healthcare, and 618,000 for the PPP loans for the SOS Trucking. Yeah, that's 2020 and 2021. Yeah, you're talking, that's almost $2 million right there.
So PPP loans were for companies who had to shut down for the pandemic. And it was there to help keep people from getting laid off. or had to downsize. Their business took a hit, so they're trying to influx some cash. So you didn't have to lay people off. So where I was working, they didn't lay people off. They put people on furlough.
Right.
That was the loophole. You could put them on furlough. It's not laid off, and you still get the PPP loan.
Yep. Oh, they use furlough in many ways to get around payments.
But why would a trucking company need a PPP loan? Because at the time,
it was essential.
Trucking company, they were essential. Now they were essential. They were highly in high demand and still are. Nobody was laying off truck drivers there were truck drivers that were quitting because they didn't want to be out during the pandemic, and they were afraid of getting sick and all this other stuff. The freight rates took a huge jump, which means there's a huge demand or lack of drivers. There's no reason that a trucking company would need a PPP loan.
Right.
Yes. But the oversight was so loose that it didn't really matter. There's nobody looking at it, so who cares? So there's that. I guess we'll keep looking into it. I will keep going back to it because I do see these pop up every now and then online, but I haven't seen any major news outlets looking into it. Not that doesn't mean there's a story there, just kind of, can somebody look into this, please? And let's start telling the people about it, because take half of the federal government and chop it off and push it into the Atlantic, and we'll be fine. It's all fraud. Okay. I think that's all we have on. Yes, all we have on fraud. Next, we can do. Well, I think we can do better. Ohio, we can do better. Here's the next story. Among cities, Ohio among states with most anti-LGBTQ incidents last year. Among the most. Come on, Ohio, you can do better. There is a pretty lengthy. This is WOSU Public Media, which is IdeaStream, which is part of NPR, part of PBS. So we know it's definitely fair and balanced because it's got NPR and PBS involved. So it's definitely America's treasure. So let's listen to it a little bit. This is a couple minutes from this story. It's kind of like they must be affiliated with IdeaStream. They use the same kind of website. They have a little clip there. It's really good. I like how they put it in there. It's really easy to listen to, but once I started playing it, let's go to LGBT hate crimes in Ohio.
Today from the Ohio Newsroom takes you around the state, connecting you with news and neighbors from all over Ohio. I'm Erin Gottsacker. Ohio nearly topped the list of so-called anti-LGBTQ incidents in 2025. That's according to GLAAD, a nonprofit that advocates for inclusive representation and LGBTQ acceptance. It's been tracking expressions of hate toward the LGBTQ community since 2022. Wow, Sarah Moore is the lead researcher on that project. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Erin. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Erin.
So GLAAD calls these anti-LGBTQ incidents. Can you describe what exactly that means and how you go about tracking them?
Sure. So we track anti-LGBTQ incidents, which is a bit of a broader category than what you might see in a normal hate crime tracking report. And that's because we're trying to track different kinds of expressions of hate and extremism, things that, might not be included in these hate crime reports in terms of harassment on the street, protests against LGBTQ events,
that's hate.
As well as those violent assaults that, would make it into a hate crimes report, but maybe don't because of state level legislation that governs what would be included in hate crime designations. So we track all different forms of hate and harassment targeting LGBTQ people, from harassment, vandalism, assault. And this year in particular, we actually saw over 1,000 anti-LGBTQ incidents all across the U.S. and 50 in Ohio specifically.
Wow. 50. So how does that Ohio number compare to other states?
Yeah, come on.
Ohio ranked fourth highest in terms of statewide incident totals. So what that means is that they are amongst the top 5 in terms of states that have the highest number of reported incidents.
Okay. And can you give us some examples of some of the anti-LGBTQ incidents that happened here last year?
Incidents.
Sure. So some of the things that we tracked were over a dozen propaganda drops by white supremacist organizations.
Pamphlets.
What that means is that there are organizations like Patriot Front and White Lives Matter, groups that have a intense history of violence and harassment against LGBTQ populations that are actually going out and spreading this hateful rhetoric in terms of flyers, in terms of pamphlets being distributed on lawns, terms of, sending letters to these various homes, basically spreading a kind of wide range of conspiratorial ideas that are upholding this idea of white supremacy that's core to their stated values.
Conspiratorial, like White Lives Matter too. That's conspiratorial. I don't know that group, but yeah, conspiratorial things like that's a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Oh, can't believe I just said that. Conspiratorial. So, but where I would like to say, here goes some stats. So, wow, over 1,000 incidents this is what they've picked out. So they've broadened an anti-LGBT incident to the widest possible thing. You have to imagine, right? You have to guess. I'm
going to do one right now. Guys should not suck dick.
That is.
Report me.
Now we're at 51. Just like the show number 51. So they broadened this way out, as broad as they can make it. And all they found was 1,000 incidents out of 350 million people. Pamphlets, that's hate. Protesting. So if you protest drag queen story time with little kids, that's hate.
That's hate.
It's hate.
Mm-hmm.
It's hate. So when I post,
they're allowed to protest anytime.
Yes, that's not hate. It's for love. It's only for love.
Yes.
So when I post on X, I have a couple of memes that I go to. One of them is you don't have to ask why they have children at drag queen story time. Ask why they crave the children there. Something to that effect. Don't ask why you're having children. Why do they want to be in front of children is what you have to ask. The other one is my favorite, which is the LGBTQ flag. It just says make asylums great again. That's hate, apparently.
That's hate.
Not a pamphlet, but I didn't throw it on anybody's lawn. So they really should not be freaking just littering hateful pamphlets all over people's lawns.
I never looked into Patriot Front. This article made me look into it because it was such a bullshit article.
Are you a member now?
No, I didn't go that far. But I kind of went on their website just to kind of see what they're all about. And there's really like nothing racist. It's definitely like pro, let's say, keeping America the way it always was. Yeah.
Oh, it was like Oath Keepers was.
Well, I don't know anything about them, but they just want to limit, like if they don't want to limit immigration. What they want to do is just keep immigration to people that actually want to be American.
Yes, not mass immigration.
Right. So
calculated immigration. So
whenever they say far right or like extremists or white supremacists, it's total bullshit, man.
Yeah.
And, hate crimes. I looked up the hate crimes that happened in Ohio, and violent ones. There are no violent ones, unless you want to call it. There was a guy in Cincinnati that went and burned a bunch of, LGBTQ flags on people's lawns.
Speech is violence. Saying. Speech is violence, Tom.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm just trying to make sense of this here.
I know.
So, there's just nothing. There's no.
Over a dozen propaganda drops, Tom.
Propaganda. What's a propaganda drop? A pamphlet?
I don't know. That's why I pointed it out.
That's like promoting family values. Is that a anti-LGBTQ? I mean, like, let's say they're having a fag parade somewhere, and then somebody is passing out pro-family, pamphlets. Is that hate crime, or is that just saying, hey, you might want to seek God?
Well, I think we know what they should do in this case. I think they should move to Australia.
I think, Australia is very
before
accepting.
Then, actually, actually, before I've overstepped it. I want to hear. So they point out that, okay, Ohio is fourth. But who's third and second and first? Let's last little bit here. Kind of interesting. And her reasoning on why California is at the top of the list.
Why do you think there were so many incidents like this in Ohio compared to other states?
I think when we're looking at the states that are in our top 5, states like Ohio, but also states like Washington and California, these are states that have had traditionally quite strong support for LGBTQ communities.
Okay, so why are they?
Right now, with what we're seeing in terms of the rollback of LGBTQ rights, and especially in trans rights, states that have had those protections historically enshrined are actually at the forefront of the number of incidents, because there are other organizations that have, national or local chapters that are working within the state to push back on those rights.
What? So the states that had the most, the most support in the state, in the people, and the government are at the top of the list for anti-LGBTQ hate incidents, as much BS as they are. So because they had such a strong support in the state is why anti-LGBT groups in the state were able to, I can't even follow that logic at all. It's not even logic. It's just a mix up of complete and utter BS.
Well, I would think there's more gays. So that would obviously create more gay hate crimes.
Well, of course, yes. Yes.
I mean, they're swinging their balls around in parades that might cause people to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I remember back in the time when parades didn't have balls swinging around. It was such a better time.
Well, there was a time when they've always had those parades where, they become almost fetish parades, but they didn't bring their kids to them.
And what do you why? I always wondered why your identity has to be so wrapped around what kind of sex you have. And with who? And why are you proud of
sucking dick?
Munching on carpet. You just always go one way, Tom. Why? I don't. It was such a weird. Oh, our rights. No, this is something to be proud of. Oh, I should have totally pulled this clip. It was a Norm Macdonald clip.
By the way, that article was almost a Babylon Bee article.
I know it was. Right.
I mean, it was very close to, like, he just needed to change it up slightly.
Just slightly.
Yeah. Aaron Gottsacker, the one that wrote this, needs to be
sacked.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I was gonna go. I'm just gonna stop. But Australia. Talk about Australia. Let's pull it back in. Australia. Australia has a solution. They know what a hate crime is. And they've got their own set of police. This is the New South Wales Police hate crime unit, and they're the little advertisement they had on X.
Hate crime is any crime motivated by hate, prejudice, or bias towards people because of their identity or perceived difference. If you experience hate crime, even if it feels minor, you should contact us. If you're in immediate danger, someone is seriously injured, a hate crime is happening now, or the suspect is still present, you should call 000. If the incident has already happened and you're no longer in danger, you can still report it at your local police station or by calling Crime Stoppers on 1-800-333-000. However you identify, you deserve to feel safe, respected, and empowered. When you report a hate crime, you'll be treated with support, respect, and dignity every step of the way by the New South Wales Police Force.
They got the hate police going on like
they're well on their way to becoming Britain.
Yes. Do you think they would protect me if I identified as a Hispanic woman who transitioned into a man?
I don't know.
I'd break your brain on that one, but I doubt it. How about if I were identified as a white Trump supporter? How far would that go? Speaking of Britain, I did see a clip similarly. It was a guy in Britain in a Muslim area, which is, I heard, most of London now, that he was a Christian pastor or something, just asking questions to the Muslim community as they drove by, and they called the cops on him. And the video was of this woman cop who was standing up for the guy. Like, he's like, oh, he's spreading lies. Yeah, but he's allowed to do that. No, you have to remove him. No, you're allowed to go his place and spread lies. You can't, it was like, you could tell they're immigrants. I would say a lot of them illegal. And they're used to being at a place where they will come and take you for saying stuff bad about Allah.
Right.
And they were shocked that the woman, and I'm like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And because it was a woman, I was figuring these guys would start, roughing her up, but they didn't. But she stood her ground and said, sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Australia, they would have probably cuffed them. And
well, I bring up Britain a lot, just for the listeners that don't know what's happening there. But I think in 2023, they had over 12,000 arrests for social media posts.
Yep.
Calling it hate speech, and they're arresting people. So there's no, I tried to look up more current statistics, but there were none yet available. So 2023, they arrested over 12,000 just for posting things online. And I'm pretty sure Australia's headed that way too. They don't, and they're even worse. They don't. Yeah. I think in Australia they pay less attention as far as politics go, because they got some retards over there in politics.
So you looked up the stats for Britain, and they only had 2023.
That was the last one recorded. That's available.
Right. Okay. Seems weird that you wouldn't have 2024 up there like a year ago.
Yeah, you would think.
Almost like they were like, oh, we forgot to put it up because it's.
Or they're changing the definition.
Yeah. Or with the 36,000, they don't want anybody to know.
You think there's that many?
No, I'm just saying it would be like, oh, yeah, whoops. If you're getting blowback because you release a stat of 12,000 people being arrested and then the next year it goes up, maybe you just forget to release that stat.
Okay, yeah. And they won't report it there.
Right. Nobody's going to push on it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to push to get the numbers. I don't know. It's just my tinfoil hat, black bill. But yeah, go. If you're sick of Ohio, that 50, just over 50. And with Tom's in mind this morning, we're at like 53 hate incidents, anti-LGBT hate incidents in Ohio. It's an epidemic. We need to put a stop to it. All right. Next on our list, I originally had the story because I was at the auto show last weekend, and I went for a couple of reasons. One, it was going to be the last auto show at the IX Center, and this story was already in the lineup, at least in my notes. And IX Center sets up for its last event, or maybe not. Originally, the story, Channel 5 News, is basically going through. They announced their final show, which is going to be the Piston Power Show in a couple of weeks, and that the IX Center is now going to be transitioning into a tech building. Nobody knows exactly what it is. I'm now reading more into it. It was never promised to be a data center. It's just that a Fortune 100 company had purchased it. Everybody assumed it was Amazon or Meta or something like that. So they're saying a data center was never in the works, but it was going to be a high-tech manufacturing facility. And so they had their last car show there, go there with my family, and it was worth every bit of the $55 it took me to get in there, because I figured out my wife thought this car was a little too big, and this car was a little too small, and then that one was a little too big, and then that one, we didn't find the just right one, so it saved me like $50,000. Because she's just going to keep her car. And then my daughter, who's 15, and got her temps, who wants a Jeep so bad, no longer wants a Jeep. She sat in a Jeep.
Really?
And now she doesn't want a Jeep. And I was like,
good.
That's probably good, because you give up a lot of luxury for a Jeep, I think. Ride comfort.
I think the newer ones are pretty comfortable, aren't they?
I've rented one in the last couple of years, Commander one. Oh, it was ugh.
Awful.
Yeah, it's worse than a truck ride, in my opinion.
Really?
And for
the
me,
new
small
trucks are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I would say it probably rivals a work truck, like an F-250 or 350, as far as the stiffness of the ride.
No kidding.
I mean,
okay.
I bet if you get, I didn't have a great one. It was just a rental, so it was just kind of more of a baseline. But small inside for me, I didn't think they were very comfortable. And
was it 2-door or 4-door?
No, it was 4-door.
Okay.
4-door Commander with a bed, the make believe truck that they
the Gladiator.
Gladiator, yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was So she's like, I don't want it. I mean, it didn't get any better though, because what she actually wants now is the Toyota Supra.
Supra? Yeah, that's a nice car, man. She's a little too young for that.
Yeah, a lot too young for that. And I was like, you couldn't afford the insurance on that, let alone the payment. We couldn't on that. No way.
Well, it's too much car for her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then they had the one down from it, which is it's less. It's like sporty, like the Supra, but it's probably a lot less expensive and a lot less power. Yeah. But I was like, no. I was like, remember the other day when it was snowing? I go drive that.
Is the Supra still rear wheel drive or is it front wheel drive? Yeah,
it's rear. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I think they had 2 rear wheel drive cars there, 2 sport cars there in Toyota's booth. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, so no Jeep, so I was good on that. But we went to a Supra. I was like, no. I was like, think more realistic. Think more realistic. How about a minivan?
Well, she needs to take her someplace where she can look at a bunch of used cars, like 10 years old.
Yeah, I think she gets what she gets at this point.
Well, yeah,
a little bit of input.
I get it, but you still want to make, something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want something safe. That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, my dad tried getting, I had a couple of pretty cool cars when I started driving, but.
Yeah, you had 240 ZX, didn't you? Or something, 280?
I had a 280 ZX, yeah.
I think they had a 40th anniversary there at Nissan booth.
Yeah, what are they now? Like, are they 340 or 360 ZX?
I can't remember the label they had on it, but it was.
I think they're just Z now.
Yeah,
but they're pretty badass.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was nice, but it's some anniversary of the Z class or whatever, 40th anniversary cards.
I think that's one of the best buys for if you performance car.
It starts under 50.
Yeah.
Her actual car she really wants is either a Skyline or GTR.
Is that Subaru?
Nissan, I think. GTR.
Oh,
Nissan.
Who's that? Who's the other one?
Subaru.
Skyline. Okay.
Skyline. Is this Skyline?
Skyline.
I think it's Subaru.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Fast and Furious movies. Let's get into that.
So
she's GTR is beautiful.
So she's thinking sports car, huh?
Oh yeah, she's thinking sports car for sure. Okay, we'll get there eventually. But so all that, and so gonna be last one. Power Piston show's coming up. That's gonna be the last event, and then this story comes out, which is the IX Center deal fell through. IX Center deal falls apart, leaving future uncertain for historic event space. And I can't figure out what happened. They don't really tell you why the company pulled out, other than they haven't extended the lease yet for the building. They're supposed to extend it another 49 years.
Right.
And that hasn't happened yet, but it didn't seem like it was going to be a hard thing to get past. They had some questions on it. And so no real reason why it backed out that I can see, other than they just decided not to. Other than it was never going to be a data center, apparently.
Yeah, that shocked me when I saw that, because weren't we speculating that?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were speculating because they said Fortune 100 company purchased or leased it, not purchased it, leased it, and then everything built around here is a freaking data center. So that was probably they put 2 and 2 together. But again, 2.2 million square feet, IX Center, and. Yeah, the Power Piston show will be March 27th through 29th, which will be the last consumer trade show held in the building so far. We don't know what's going to change. I think the only other thing I could think of is I did hear they had a clause in there that they could, if the airport needs to be expanded, they could shorten at least to 10 years. Maybe that was a problem. But it's kind of up in the air now. Kind of up in the air what's going to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Something happened, and the company didn't like what was going on. Maybe it was the city hemming and hawing over the lease. Maybe they just said, "Screw it, we're going to back out." I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll get the 1 or 2 more years out of it. It feels like they're trying to get somebody to lease it. So you can get more jobs than what's there now.
I would think that's the goal.
Yeah, they were estimating 250 jobs, but nobody knew what the company. Nobody knows what the company was. The city didn't know what the company was.
It was a manufacturer, though.
Supposedly, high tech manufacturing is what they were saying. So I don't know. I don't like the whole. We don't know who it is. It's kind of kind of really crappy.
Yeah, but that's competition, right?
I guess, but you can't even tell the city who's going to be in there. Like what? I don't know. It seems oddly secretive. I get at a certain level you want to keep it on the down low because you're not sure if you're going to, you're just negotiating. But I don't know what they signed, but we'll see. But anyway, that's up in the air. Still, they haven't said they're going to start opening events there again. I think they're still going to try to rent it out for something else besides event space. But might be some one last chance for the Fire Center. Last time it closed was 2020. They shut it down and somebody sold the rights to it or something right during COVID. Can't imagine it makes that much money. It's a huge building with not that many events there. I mean, I guess a good amount of events there, but it's a really big freaking building. And I think Gojo rents out part of it for storage.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that, see what's going on, because, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a lot of space to disappear out of the convention landscape in the area. All right, moving on to our final segment, as always.
We bring good things to life.
Always bringing good things to life. First up on the good things is Bedrock. Bedrock is a company that was looking to build a rock and roll land project. They're talking about a rock and roll hotel and amphitheater down near the old Tower City Amphitheater. Do you remember that big tent they had down there? They tore it down a few years back.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went to a show there.
I went and saw somebody there, and I can't remember what it was, but I did see an event there, a concert, I believe. Might have been like I don't remember what it was, some musical event thing. And they're looking at, it's been kind of going back and forth, and this is a neo-trans article. Nothing about anti-trans in this article, just Northeast Ohio trans.
54.
Yeah. This originally is a $3.5 billion project on the to help develop part of the Cuyahoga River front, which is on the Collision Bend, they call it. Basically, what's going up there now, or what's there now, is not a lot. There's a steam plant, which is going to stay because it does support a lot of buildings in the downtown area. The Cavs are building their new training facility. They're moving out of Independence and going down to that area. That's currently underway now. It's about halfway done or so. I've driven past there. And this is kind of right around down the street, around the corner, around the bend of the Cuyahoga River. And this is basically, as if you've ever gone to Tower City and parked under Tower City, it's kind of where they're putting it. They bought a couple of these parking garages. They want to build a hotel and a amphitheater larger than the one that was there, and kind of marketed as a rock and roll land hotel and theater.
Why another amphitheater?
Well, the one that's there, there's not one down there now.
Oh, Nautica's still there, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Nautica's still there. I don't.
But I mean, it's just another seasonal thing, right?
That's a good question. They don't have any renderings of what they would be.
Okay.
But an amphitheater tells me it's outdoors.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of the natural. I think amphitheater is kind of like a natural landscape of a theater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be at least. Yeah.
I would think that's under a tent or some type of pavilion.
Yeah, kind of like Blossom would be.
Yeah.
There's a pavilion part and then a part where it's probably not covered, I think. The 560,000 square foot hotel theater complex was to be built atop of a 268,000 square foot parking garage, 800 cars, resulting in a 17-story structure, and would actually be coming out. There's like a bridge ramp that goes down there, so I've gone down a few times for parking for Tower City stuff. So what they've kind of figured out is they're going to break the project up, it sounds like, and they're kind of still up in the air what they're going to do. But there's a lot of development going on in Cuyahoga River, and we got the Cavs down there now. We talked about they reconstructed the Irish Bend for a park, for the Metro Parks, and they've got a few projects slated for this area we're talking about here in the coming years. So good things looking up for downtown, and Hopefully more reason to bring people down there.
Yes, seasonally. And the greats.
Yeah, for 3 months.
Yeah. I just don't get that. It's cool. I love amphitheaters, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like it's the greatest thing to do in Cleveland.
No, you would think they want something indoors to be in between like an agora and a arena show.
Yeah.
Something at like 7,000 people. Maybe that's probably what this is going to be. I think the other one there it's going to be larger than the other one that was there. They're looking at building a 6,200 seat.
Okay.
Outdoor venue on the other side of the Cuyahoga River Collisions Bend. Yeah,
again, you're good for about 4 or 5 months at max. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I mean, I love seeing shows at Blossom, or I always loved Nautica. And I think I was at this one we're talking about once, and it was good. Oh, I wasn't there. I was there around the area during a show, and I kind of remember the Tower City Amphitheater, and I think you could kind of hang out and hear the music, and yeah, that's what I remember.
I think Bedrock is is that a Gilbert?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Yeah.
Dave Gilbert, Dan Gilbert,
Dan Gilbert. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's doing what the Browns couldn't do in building infrastructure around his arena and controlling it. And that's what it sounds like he's doing. That's what the Browns want to do.
Right.
Build all this stuff up around it so you can get all the revenue from that all year round. I mean, they could use another hotel or maybe in the city. I don't know, I guess.
I don't know. Can they? Is there demand for it?
Good question. They want a Super Bowl here. They need to get more hotels, but
that's never going to happen. But
we'll have a dome, Tom. We're halfway there. The other half is the big.
I can see all those excited people wanting to come to Cleveland.
Oh yeah, they're going to love it. All the stuff we have to offer in February.
That closes at like 10.
Yeah, exactly. So we keep an eye on stuff like there's more projects being announced. We'll see what actually gets built, but more development. I think utilizing the Cuyahoga River to me is cool. Something we missed on. It's kind of like they need to start doing that with the lake. Maybe, I don't know.
You know what? There's so much potential. Mm-hmm. It's just can they execute?
They get out of their own way?
Yep.
Can they execute and get out of their own way? Next on the good things list is Ohio moves to ban sugary drinks for SNAP benefits. So we brought this up a couple months ago because they were looking to the U.S. Department of Agriculture for approval on the ban, and the state of Ohio has gotten the approval. And starting October 1st, you'll no longer be able to buy soda, sugary carbonated beverages with your SNAP card.
I thought this was already banned through the Fed.
I don't think they ever passed it.
I thought because RFK was just talking about it on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought this was already like, are we just doubling up on it? Like making sure it never comes back?
So it depends, I guess, because does the federal government give the money to the state and then the state divvies up? So does, I don't know if there's
maybe the Fed stopped providing funds for it, and then this will make sure that Ohio doesn't have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Could be.
I'm kind of
confused.
I was confused when I saw this. Yeah.
I knew they were talking about it in the Fed. I didn't know they passed it yet or not. I haven't watched that Rogan one with RFK on it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
I was watching the one before that with Andrew Wilson's wife. That was a good one. You should watch that.
Yeah, she was excellent. Yeah, that was a good one.
Her book on feminism. Oh my God, I haven't got through it all, but it's driving me absolutely insane. So I can't stop watching
the book. Actually,
well, no, I mean I'm watching the podcast
because I was going to get the book too because I think it's good to know when you encounter a feminist.
Yes,
there's a lot of good information there.
Yep. And so watch out. You better start stocking up on your sugary drinks because at October 1st, no longer be able to buy them. You have to fork out your own cash.
I don't want to be crude, but I hope none of our listeners are on Snap.
Okay. I hope not either because that would suck. But again, it wouldn't change my opinion of it, but it would suck. Oh my gosh, I haven't checked any of these off, Tom. I've been horrible today.
Yeah.
Hate crime check, IX Center check, Ohio. Okay, next is probably the best good news segment of the. It's not even it's just a one-line thing. Crenshaw and Crockett are out.
Oh, I didn't notice you put that in there.
I threw it in there last minute.
And Brendan Herrera is in.
Yeah, they were going to have a runoff, and
there's no runoff.
He dropped out. I heard.
Yep. Oh, yeah. He dropped out. He's in all kinds of shit there, and I think there was Kornheim and the other guy, who there was going to be a runoff, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I forget the guy's name. Guy running against primary against Kornheim.
In Texas, yeah. It's Texas.
Yes, in Texas, and the guy said, "I'll drop out if you vote for the SAVE Act and bring in the standing filibuster."
Oh,
so which is great. This puts a lot of pressure on Kornheim.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because if I have a feeling if he doesn't do that, I think the other guy has a really good chance. But Trump is sticking his nose in there too, and I think he'll just back Kornheim, which sucks.
Okay. I think Crockett though had some interesting comments. I think we can hear a little bit from Crockett.
You got some?
Oh yeah, this is her. I think this is as the polls were coming in, or as the maybe the early voting came in, she was seeing that she was going to lose. But interesting. Her. We'll just hear what she said. Remember, this is a Democratic primary. So some what she has to say.
Allred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do
cheating.
So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line.
Who's cheating? Who's cheating, Jasmine? Who's cheating? It's a Democratic primary. Who's cheating?
I don't know what she's referring to because she is low IQ. But she could be referring to, didn't Colbert, because he had the person running against her on his show, and then he blamed the FCC and Trump for not being able to have it on his show, that he had to put it on YouTube, correct? Do you know anything about this?
I did not know about this, no.
Okay, so Colbert had the person running against her. And the Democrats really don't want her in there because she doesn't have a chance.
Oh, that was about her?
Yeah.
The Colbert thing? Oh.
That's not Colbert, it's Colbert.
Colbert, sorry.
His own family calls him Colbert. Pronounces their last name Colbert. So he's a douche.
Well, Colbert sounds much more sophisticated, so I'll call him Colbert.
Yeah.
But I like
that. Anyways, Colbert had the person running against her on, and because of the fair... is it fair? What do they call that? Fair election integrity.
Yeah, you have to give approximately the same time to each side.
Right.
It was called, but yeah, FCC regulation.
Yeah, it's an FCC regulation, but he was able to put it on YouTube. Anyways, he did a whole thing about blaming Trump and the FCC for not allowing them to put her on his show, and it turned out that it was all BS, that he could have done that easily.
He was never told no.
Yeah, he was never told no. And so I don't know if she's referring to that and blaming the FCC and Trump, or is she just ranting for ranting sake?
Yeah. She's telling you to stay in line and vote. It sounds like she's accusing her opponent of stacking the ballot box. That's the way I took. But I see your play, and that could be that, because she could be talking about that. But regardless, I only thought Republicans cheated. I was told that.
That's what it sounded like. But didn't she lose by like 30 points or something?
Oh, it was yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah, she just has to shut up.
So somebody did an AI meme of her. I think it was after 2016 election. There was the picture of the protester with the vest on her knees. I'm using her in air quotes, and she's screaming. It's that one. You've probably seen it, but they did her.
Oh yeah,
in that same pose.
Yes, I saw that. Was that Babylon Bee? No, that was just a meme.
I think it was just a meme that somebody did in AI, but they had these huge eyelashes. They were like, as big as her head on each eye.
Yeah,
she got low IQ, but she got high eyelashes.
She's something else. So I would have rather have her run. But this guy's pretty bad too. He has no chance. He'll have no chance by the time people learn about him.
I hope so. Yeah, we're not celebrating because that person that beat her in the primary is much better, if at all. It's just, actually not as good, because until we have yet to be seen if he'll be as entertaining as she is.
There's plenty of clips that are, he's just not as hyperbolic.
Ugh.
But I mean, he's saying how abortion's in the Bible and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I did see some of why he's a Christian, progressive Christian or something.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff he's doing. So it'll be fun too.
All right. I think we've gone long enough, Tom. I think we can wrap this up by saying thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your time. Check out the blog, Crookedrivercast.com. Every Monday when the show drops, you can check out the stories, see a lot of the clips that we've taken from and the stories we're reading, and check them out. Tell us what you think about them. Tell us if there's anything that we're missing, or let us know the shenanigans in your area, and we'll see if it applies to the show. We can't look everywhere, so we need your help. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.